Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Seasonal Tokens Podcast, where Polar interviews people so you can do more investing and less gambling.
Even though I believe that you have somehow answered it, but it would be good if we can try and answer it in one simple sentence or probably two. What's actually the main problem that seasonal tokens is solving?
So that's a good question. I'm trying to find a short, simple answer. Let me think. I think, maybe you expressed well yourself when you said this is kind of an attempt to construct the ideal investment. So it's not trying to be money. So Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies, they're intended to be used for payments. That's where the value in them comes from. But with seasonal tokens, there's no aspiration for them to be used as payments. You're not going to go shopping and pay with seasonal tokens, although they can be used for that. If you can find a shopkeeper who will accept seasonal tokens, then you can pay. That is not where the intended value is coming from. They're basically designed to be investments rather than money. So each token you kind of invest your spring tokens into summer tokens, and then when your summer tokens mature, when they become more expensive, then you can invest those into autumn tokens, and then you can continually reinvest. So that's kind of the process that's involved. So I hope that answers it. That's probably, if I say anything more, then I'm not giving a short, simple answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we can just recap that probably the main problem that seasonal tokens is trying to solve is to have something reliable as an investment. So, yeah. Which I think is connecting very well with my next question. You have said that seasonal tokens is designed to be as an investment, right? Not a gamble. So can you share more about this concept? Not a gamble, but an investment.
So when somebody is using their money to try to get more money, they can invest or they can speculate, and something is considered to be more of an investment if it's got more security, if there's some kind of some reason to believe that you're not going to lose the principal that you invest. So you invest some principal and you hope to make a profit, but you also want to not make a loss, and you don't want to put your funds at risk. So what you want in an ideal investment is you want the value of the investment to go up over time and to never go down. That's what you would want in an investment. Whereas if you're gambling, then what you're doing is you're making a bet and you're willing to accept a loss if the bet goes wrong. So you're speculating that a price is going to rise, and so you buy some of that token, and if the price falls, then you've made a loss. And so this is essentially the main difference. There's essentially there's a risk of loss when you're gambling, and when you're investing, you try to eliminate that risk of loss. And with the tokens, because you can follow the rule, only trade tokens for more tokens of a different type. So you trade winter for spring when winter is more expensive than spring. And that means that you get more tokens in total. So if you follow that rule, then the number of tokens in the investment will increase with every trade, and it will never go down. So this is the property that you're looking for in an investment. So obviously you would like it to be going up and measured in external currencies, like dollars or ETH or whatever. But what it's not possible to do that. What you can do is guarantee that the number of tokens in the investment will keep increasing. And that is basically an innovation, and it's something that seasonal tokens allows people to do.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a very different thing. I believe that most investors in crypto, if we can call them investors after your explanations, are actually like doing mostly gambling than investing. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, and I think you're right there. I think it's unfortunate that there's been so cryptocurrencies, and many cryptocurrencies have been very good investments. But when people are investing in cryptocurrencies, a lot of the time, basically, they are anticipating that there will be a crowd that will come along and will buy that cryptocurrency, and it will become popular. It will go to the moon. And this is I think it's not a safe and wise way to invest. It is gambling, basically, because every time you're hoping that something's going to happen in the future, and you're kind of risking a loss if it doesn't happen. So yeah, I'm afraid that happens to be the case.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm also a gambler, but this is another topic. So it sounds that you have gone through a lot of things to come up to the idea of seasonal tokens. And I suppose you have also spent a lot of time developing it. And as far as I know, seasonal tokens has started the previous year. So seasonal tokens have been online a good amount of time for a crypto, I would say, probably like centuries in the crypto world. So I'm sure that there were some good, but also bad times. So my question is related to that, like through all these good and bad times in seasonal tokens, have you learned anything particularly helpful about the crypto space?
So you mean helpful for people starting their own projects?
Yeah, people starting their own projects, and also would be nice if you have learned something about investments too.
Okay. Well, about investments, to be honest, I haven't tried to invest in anything other than Bitcoin and seasonal tokens. So, but I think what's happened with seasonal tokens has gone well. So if something that I've learned is that if you have a good idea, then you can make it happen. And well, I suppose the thing that was most helpful for me was probably understanding smart contracts and learning Solidity and learning how to write contracts and how to deploy them and how they can interact with each other and what you can do with them. That's basically, it drastically expands what you can do with cryptocurrencies. So with Bitcoin, well, they're introducing innovations to Bitcoin now that will make smart contracts possible on the Bitcoin blockchain. But before Ethereum came along, there was basically cryptocurrencies they didn't have much functionality. They could just be sent from one person to another, and that was pretty much it. But now that we have smart contracts, it's possible to make cryptocurrencies very easily by making tokens. And the amount of code that you need to write a token. So, for example, the seasonal tokens code, it's only a few hundred lines of code for each token. And so there might be maybe 300 lines of code. I can't remember exactly. It could be 300 lines of code that it took to write the entire set of code for the seasonal tokens. Whereas the Bitcoin code that I was trying to use to make another copy of Bitcoin when the project was first conceived, that was 40,000 lines of code, and it was very difficult to handle.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. So if I understand you right, one of the most helpful things that you have learned about the crypto space is the many possibilities that actually the current smart contracts are giving you.
Definitely, yeah. And also, actually, maybe just one thing that just came to mind as well is yield farming. So I found that yield farming, so we created a farm for the seasonal tokens, and that brought a lot of liquidity into Uniswap. And because of that, the tokens had prices, they have market prices, and their market prices started to evolve in time as people traded on Uniswap. And that was what made the smart token, the seasonal tokens basically have prices that were close to their theoretical values, because there was liquidity and people were buying and selling every day. And so there was the cost of production from mining and the liquidity of the trading that was going on Uniswap. Those interacted and they brought about this. You can see it on the website. If you go to seasonaltokens.org/charts, you can see the historical prices of the tokens relative to each other. And they've been pretty stable since farming started. And so farming, if there hadn't been a farm, then it would have been difficult to get the seasonal tokens to have any prices and to be any kind of a usable investment. So farming was something that was able to solve that problem very quickly and to create an efficient liquid market pretty quickly.
Okay, so we have a second thing, like combining smart contracts with farming sounds like a good couple.
I think all the farms are done through smart contracts.
Okay, that's definitely really good to know, especially if you are trying to start a new project.